Well, that was quite the qualifying session, and I would have never guessed the end result, which was Joey Logano on pole. And Joey Logano getting a pole is not surprising. This is his third pole of the season. It's the fact that it's at a road course. Joey Logano is a two-time champion. He's a future Hall of Famer, but the road racing, it's never been his strength. But he's in a tight point situation for the playoffs, so it was a much-needed performance, and, well, he's on pole. He wins at the new racetracks, he wins at the new repaves, and he gets a pole at the repaved Sonoma, but still, man, I did not see this coming. I probably would have named 10 to 15 guys before I named Joey Logano for pole. And once again, it's just that Joey's never been really great at the road courses. He hasn't won a road course in almost 10 years. Watkins Glen 2015. Anyways, it's only his third road course career pole. I think I said that already. The career pole number 31. But it was quite the qualifying session. As I said, we saw Kyle Larson really pushing it, putting together a really good lap, it seemed like. But at turn 4, turn 5, coming down the back straight, you kind of take that wide, and he smacked the tire barrier. Was able to finish his lap, but they did have some damage they had to look at. But ultimately, he was able to get back out, but it was definitely a sketchy moment. Could have been worse. That turn has always been the sketchiest. Team Penske showed speed, but not from the driver I expected. When we go to road courses, I expect Austin Cindric actually to run the best because he's always been a really good road course racer, always won there in Xfinity, and Cup has always performed well there. But he was a no-show today, qualified 28th, but his teammates Ryan Blaney and Joey Logano on pole, Ryan Blaney starting third, that was a bit of a surprise. Blaney fast yesterday in practice, was fastest in practice, no shock to see him up there today. All 4 Hendrick cars in the final round after all 4 missed the final round last week at Gateway. Road course ace Tyler Reddick, we see him on the front row. Daniel Suarez, we saw some signs of speed from him. Both him and Trackhouse teammate Ross Chastain made the final round. But now we move on to the Supercars drivers. We move to Will Brown and Cam Waters. Obviously, Will Brown impressed yesterday in the practice session, being third fastest on the single lap average. Cam Waters struggled a bit, had a spin, was 35th, I believe. But today it was a struggle a bit for both of them. Will Brown, first I guess I should explain to those of you who don't know the qualifying format itself. In the road courses, it's different than the ovals. At the road courses, there are 2 15-minute sessions. The field is split in half, so 19 cars in Group A, 19 cars in Group B. As I said, each group gets 15 minutes, free track, free open, free practice, free qualifying, whatever you want to call it. Everyone's allowed to qualify. Everyone's allowed on the track at the same time. You just kind of have to, don't get in anyone's way. And you try to make the top 5. If you make that top 5, you advance to the final round. And that top 10 shootout is for pole. Neither of them made that final round. Will Brown, he was in Group A, and that first lap was not great for him, but it was not completely his own doing. He was having some issues with his car, something to do with the power, something to do with the engine or the throttle. Something was going wrong in that car. So they came back down. They put together not a great lap time, came back down pit road, fixed up whatever the problem was. So then he had one full lap, one flying lap in a sense, with the car fully powered, fully functioning. And ultimately it just was not enough. Will Brown ends up 24th. As for Cam Waters, he ends up qualifying 31st. Not really an eventful, no spin like yesterday, no mechanical issues or mechanical scares like Will Brown had in Group A, but Cam Waters in Group B, he was 16th fastest in Group B, which means he's 31st tomorrow. Will Brown, I don't think I said this, he was 12th in Group A, 24th overall. If you're curious to how these teammates did, or the teammates to each of these drivers did, Will Brown's teammates Austin Dillon qualified 16th, Kyle Busch qualified 29th. That was one of the bigger shocks in qualifying, if you ask me. Kyle Busch, he's a good road course racer. RCR has shown speed at road courses before, but 29th is just straight up bad. And the points position that they are in, they can't afford that. That's the second straight week I'm saying that. With how tough it is to pass in this next-gen car, and especially at Sonoma, you can't afford that. So ultimately, Kyle Busch, bad qualifying effort there. As for RFK Racing, oh my lord, terrible. Chris Buescher was 26th, and he has, I think, 10 or 11, maybe more consecutive races of top 11 finishes at road courses. That streak is very much in jeopardy. Cam Waters is 31st, and then Brad Keselowski, 35th. I mean, I know Brad's not great at the road courses, but good Lord, 35th. This is a guy who's got like 5 top 5s in the last 7 races. Once again, I know that road courses are not his strength, but woof, that's a rough session for him there. But as I said, Will Brown, they had some issues in that first run in qualifying, came back, fixed it up. Ultimately, just not enough. They're starting 24th tomorrow. Realistic goals, once again, it's hard to pass in this car, and this track is a track that's very difficult to pass at. So, unfortunately for Will Brown, I think the win is out of the question. I think a top 5 is a long shot. Top 10 is a maybe. You look at some of these cars in front of him, I think he can definitely get around. You know, Harrison Burton, Chase Briscoe, Noah Gragson, Zane Smith, Bubba Wallace, Corey LaJoie, Austin Dillon. I think those are some guys that Will Brown can definitely get by. And that's just some of those names I named. They're just, the road courses are not their strength. They're good at other tracks, you know, like Bubba Wallace, for example. He's great at the intermediate tracks. You know, he can run top 5, top 10 there. But the road courses, he's not very good at. You look at Harrison Burton, Zane Smith, great qualifying efforts for them, honestly. But they've had 2 terrible seasons. And realistically, if we're being realistic here, they will probably go backwards. So that's, I guess, some guys you can look to pick off if you're a Will Brown fan. But as I said, I'd say realistic expectations for Will Brown. I'd say a top 15. I think you could say that's a realistic expectation. He's got Martin Truex Jr. back there with him. I think that could be a good battle between those two guys. Martin Truex Jr. has won at this track 4 times. But ultimately, a top 10's possible, but once again, it's going to be difficult to pass. You're going to have to make some strategy calls. I think the stage being split up, having the cautions at the end of stages, that'll split the strategies, give him a little bit better of a chance. But top 5, I'd say, is a long shot. I'd say a win is essentially out of the questions unless this race gets really freaky or Will Brown, just his car gets steroids, just to be blatantly honest. As for Cam Waters, RFK has shown no speed. Respectfully to Cam Waters, respectfully to everyone at RFK. Yeah, tomorrow's going to be a struggle for Cam. That car just not looking good right now. He's learning and just a lot of things going against him. So I think realistically a top 25, maybe. Top 20 would be great. Top 10's a long shot. Top 5 is a very long shot. And a win, I mean, he was 125 to 1 entering qualifying. I'd guess he's north of 250 to 1 after that. So, yeah, it's going to be a struggle for him tomorrow. Maybe a struggle for Will Brown tomorrow. But Joey Logano's on pole. Who would have thought? Not me. No, I picked Chase Elliott. And I'm going to, once again, that's why I wore this hat, is because I'm going to pick Chase Elliott to win the race tomorrow. Chase Elliott's always been good at the road courses. He is not one in the next-gen car. The point gets brought up every time we go to a road course. Sonoma hasn't been his strongest road course, but with the repave and with him being up in that top 5, I think he's got a really good shot at it. Hendrick has a lot of speed, so Chase Elliott is going to be my pick for the win tomorrow. Will Brown, I think he's going to finish. I'm going to go with 13th. I think he finishes 13th. Cam Waters, I'm going to go with the 27th place finish. Those are my predictions. But thanks for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. We've got the Xfinity race tonight. Shane Van Gisbergen, for all you Supercars fans, he will be leading the field to green. He got his first ever pole in NASCAR at Sonoma in the Xfinity Series. So big opportunity for him tonight to go back-to-back in the Xfinity Series. We'll see how he does. I will do my normal race recap for that, or my SVG recap, whatever you want to call it. So thanks for watching these videos. I really hope you enjoyed it. I appreciate the support, and I'll see you guys in just a few hours here to talk about the Xfinity Series race.